Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast. 2020, what is really going on? Like, I was trying to say something, like encouraging and uplifting, because you guys know that I try to stay in that uplifting place as much as possible. But I would be lying if I did not be honest with you by saying that I don't understand 2020 at all. And I don't even have the mental bandwidth to even figure it out. I don't. I don't. We've lost some musical greats today, between last night and today. Andre Harrell, 59 years old. If you don't know Andre Harrell, I can't even run down that man's resume because we would be here all day. But he is a music mogul, CEO. He is the person who really was a major figure in the music industry of bringing hip hop and R&B together. He is definitely attributed with that. One of the people attributed with that, if not probably the most prolific individual attributed to that. I am at a complete loss for words. If anybody is familiar with Uptown Records was founded by Andre Harrell back in the 80s. I'm really shaking my head behind all this. I feel like 2020 has become, it's become the year of, ironically, becoming. And it's so ironic too, because I believe today is when Michelle Obama's documentary on Netflix, I believe, comes out today or sometime this weekend. And it is based on her book, Becoming. And I feel like 2020 is the year of becoming. The year of what are we going to do with the talents that we have, with the gifts that we've been given from God. What are we going to become? What are we going to aspire to do with our lives to make impact, to make change? As much as I have been on this emotional roller coaster, just even from the COVID-19 and having 2 family members dealing with this and losing one of those family members to this virus, is just, I don't even know where my head is at with a lot of this. But I feel like all of this is happening to teach us something. And I'll be honest, I don't even know what all that is or what that's about, but I feel there's such a deeply rooted teaching that needs to happen. Just as human beings, the way we treat each other. We've seen people get murdered in the street. The young black man who, if you listen to my podcast right before this one, I talked about the Ahmaud Arbery situation happening, his killing. I don't even want to say situation, because situation is like trivial, making it trivial, and it's not. His killing, his murder in Brunswick, Georgia. And man, there's been a couple other stories about a young woman who she too, her home was raided, and they raided the wrong place, and she was shot several times and killed. Another young military brother who, I don't know what the situation was, a police car chase led to him being shot and killed, and it's just so much craziness going on in the world. It's like, I know that we will question why certain things happen, but I feel like I don't want to be on the side of constantly questioning why things happen, because we can get caught up in that cycle. We kind of need to look at it, in my opinion. We kind of need to look at things of not why is it happening, but what is it trying to teach me? And I think I spoke about this in a previous podcast. It's not always what's happening to you, but what is this going to teach me? How am I going to come out after all of this starts to die down? Because eventually Ahmaud Arbery's case will start to fizzle out. That's just how life is. And I don't mean to say that I want to forget or anybody should forget, but it's not going to be at the forefront of the news even in another couple of weeks. But when we see all of these things happening, we have to really ask ourselves, what are we doing? What are we doing to be better? What are we doing to further the community? What are we doing to teach our youth to be better? And something that really struck me recently, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is the mayor of the city of Atlanta, she spoke about, the state opening back up, which people know Governor Kemp started the process of opening the state back up in response to COVID-19. And people ran to the mall. And the mayor talked about that. She was like, you ran to the mall to get the latest Jordans. And you stood on lines without masks. And since the state has been opened up, we've been looking at a significant jump in people being infected. Because it was just too early for the state of Georgia to start opening up. Just too early. For me personally, I am still quarantining, because I personally don't even feel comfortable venturing out with everything that's happening. So all of these things that have been happening, and we know that people pass away. We understand that. With life, there's death, But when things like this happen, people like Andre Harrell, he was only 59. So I'm sure that we will hear more in the coming days or weeks or so of, the cause of death and all of that. But just putting that to the side, we've been hit really hard, especially in the Black community. And we got to start doing better on all fronts. Health-wise, mentally, this is Mental Health Awareness Month as well. There's a whole lot happening. We got to start doing better with all of it. And I know it seems overwhelming, but we have to start doing better. Where are we as a community? Where are we with teaching our youth humility, respect? Teaching them how to not be upset because they can't have a graduation. Teaching them the bigger picture so they don't feel like they've been robbed. And I'm with the graduates. I tell you, I've reposted quite a few graduates and things in my Instagram stories just to, help give them a shout out, because I know that they're missing prom, they're missing walking the stage and graduating and, getting their diploma. And I've loved seeing all the videos there was a principal that went around to each person giving them their diploma, on their front lawn and all of that. And with the social distancing, it makes it so hard. People are celebrating birthdays with people driving by and honking their horns with signs out the window. And that's how we're celebrating now. It seems so crazy that we're dealing with all of this. We get up this morning and we get the news that Little Richard, music legend, has passed away at 87 years old. Oh man, 2020, you've been hitting us over the dome, and I'm trying to understand. But I'm not going to get down about it. I'm not going to go into a dark space about it, because this is all happening to teach us something, to challenge us. So I'm going to take it as a teaching moment. I'm going to take it as a challenge moment to make major changes. So thanks for tuning in to my podcast. I am probably going to challenge myself to do a podcast several times a week. I know I wanted to do at least once a week, so I would have 4 podcasts a month. But I think I'm going to challenge myself to do even more than that. And maybe that's going to be one of the things that, I change with my brand and my business. Giving people an encouraging word. I really didn't think I had an encouraging word today. But I guess somewhere in this, less than 15 minutes, you can find something positive. But yeah, I'm gonna take 2020 as a teaching moment, and I'm not gonna be down about it. And I encourage you, whoever's listening, that if you're dealing with being in a dark space, a lot of people are dealing with anxiety right now and just feeling down and depressed and all of that, because with all of those things comes personal things as well. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged, because as much as you may feel down, as much as you are dealing with anxiety, you are helping someone else. Someone else is watching you, being encouraged by you. So you gotta keep up. Keep up as much as you can. Talk it out. For me, my podcast is like a verbal diary of things that I want to share with people. So just remember, somebody's always looking up to you. You may look up to other people, but there's somebody who's looking up to you as well, and you may not even know. So we're going to stay up. we're going to stay up. Stay safe, everybody. If you can work from home, please do. I know that some people are essential and they got to go back. But if you can work from home, please do. We want to flatten this curve so we can get back to our purpose the way that we really need to be. If you want to follow me on social media, at Onyx Queen Media, talk to you soon. Bye.